G'day everybody, welcome back to another episode of Craft by Tim. First of all, I'm filming this out of order because I've just started editing it. I've realized that I don't have an intro and this video is looking kind of all over the place. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a short one and hopefully straight to the point. In today's episode we're going to be building a foundry so I can actually start to experiment more with trying to melt metal and that sort of stuff. So this is going to be really exciting for me. First step in what I have a feeling will be a very up and down sort of journey. Just like to say that the other big project that I had planned is now done and I'm going to start editing it pretty well straight after I start editing this video. So video should be going back to normal very shortly. Also, because this big project was also happening at the same time that this project was happening, as well as a bunch of other stuff, it's a little bit all over the place, so really sorry. I hope this video turns out alright. Anyway, I'll catch you guys at the end. So these are 14 centimeters, well, actually 15, now that I've put the cardboard on. They're 15 centimeters in diameter, and then the outside is covered in cardboard, and then covered in tape. Now the tape isn't necessarily to waterproof it. If push came to shove, I can burn this out. I should be able to get a reasonably good finish on it like that. Next up we have our external, which will be this bucket. Now of course this bucket isn't going to remain attached to the finished product, so hopefully we'll be able to relatively easily remove the internals from it. But this should go in there just like that, and hopefully relatively centered as well. So this bucket is a 5-litre bucket from Bunnings. It's one of these handy buckets. Internals are about 21 centimeters in diameter, about 18 centimeters deep. Let's get started with finding out exactly how much cement we need. We're going to be using this insulating cement mix, the GPO R30. This is the same refractory that I use for my forge, and that seems to be holding up pretty good, so I don't think we'll need anything other than this. There we go. Now considering that this stuff probably has some kind of silica in it, and if you don't know what silica is, it's that stuff that's used to make glass, found in sand, but it's also very bad for your health if you breathe in small particles. Attached to the lining of your lungs and causes, is it silicosis? I think it's silicosis. So it's bad for you. Yep, silica, there we go. 30% silica, so that's bad. So we're going to take this outside to pour this, but let me just read up on what I need. Dry mix product for 90 seconds, then add 90% of the water, mix for 90 seconds, then add the remaining 10% of water as needed. So now we're going to drill through this. We're going to drill about 45 mm. So we're going to drill a 44 mm hole and then just sort of widen it repeatedly. Now, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind when drilling this hole. First of all, you want it to be angling down, and that's for two reasons. First reason is, if your crucible breaks, then you have molten metal flowing out. If it's angling upwards, it's going to flow straight in. And that's going to lead straight into your gas line. You're going to have a hell of a mess on your hands, and you're going to have a really bad time. Second thing, as the gas juts down, it's going to create a vortex, and hot air rises, so it's kind of actually heating it twice rather than, because as it comes up it's going to be heating it again, rather than just hitting the wall, going around and coming up. It's going to be hitting the bottom, going around, and you know, hopefully it will get a few more turns out of each bit of gas. I don't know how to. Yeah. Anyway, now the second thing that we need to keep in mind is the angle, and we need it to be coming in on an angle. That way, it's sort of coming around. The gas is sort of creating that vortex that we want, because that will not only help it heat up more evenly, but it will also help it heat up a little bit faster. So that's important to make sure that we have that vortex going. And the third thing is once again to do with if a crucible breaks, we don't want molten metal flowing through it, through our burner. We want it to be above the bottom of the foundry, just high enough so no liquid metal should flow out of it. Alright, so the shed is currently an absolute mess because we've just been doing some moving stuff around. This is a brand new table that my dad got from his work. You'd think, oh yeah, you know, it's a decent table, it's got nice casters on it. You'd think, oh yeah, sure, probably spending like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. But no, they were going for like 20 or 25 or something. So that's why the shed's an absolute mess, but as far as the foundry goes, it's pretty well done. I was thinking maybe putting a strap around it, whilst I was trying to figure out how I was gonna do that. The thought crossed my mind that this isn't the first time that I was coming up with an idea like this, In fact, the first time I thought about this, I could just pour the entire thing into a stainless steel stock pot. You know, the ones that you get for like $12 or so from Kmart. And that would eliminate most of my problems that I'd have to deal with. And then, you know, I could just pick it up by the handles, or maybe get some better handles, ones that aren't plastic, attach it to it, and yeah, it would be fine. But I didn't think about that. But this ended up being cheaper anyway. Mostly made from scrap, some tubing in there. So basically this was the only thing that I paid for specifically for this project. That was basically it. But I got to use that whole saw a few more times, which means that, you know, I'm getting good use out of the thing that I paid a ridiculous money for. Well, it's not really that bad. They're well priced for what they are. I'm reasonably sure that my camera ran out of battery when I was making this thing, so that's the base there. It's actually surprisingly strong. Yeah. It is surprisingly strong for something that I just kind of threw together out of some old rebar and stuff. But look, it looks like a little dog, and it fell over. And then that sits on there, like so. Real nice and easy, and lid. So at this point in time, it would be reasonable to just take this out and start to burn it in. Grab the forge burner, stick it inside, and let it run for about 30 minutes on a really low flame. Just sort of slowly build it up to working temperature before just blasting it. Now, I don't have any crucibles as of right now. I actually do. I have 3 crucibles. Let me see whether or not I can find them after this. But I don't have any crucibles of a good size for this yet, so I will be ordering some of those. If anyone knows where to get crucibles locally in Perth, that would be great. And obviously with the weather the way that it is, I still can't sort of burn this in yet. As far as it goes, this is pretty well done, and the next step will be to wait until colder seasons. Thank you everybody for tuning in for this episode. I know it was a little bit all over the place and I didn't actually get to light it, and I was actually expecting this to take a little bit longer. It ended up getting, I think, about 2 weeks to cure, but even then it didn't actually take that long to make in the first place. I hope you guys enjoyed it though. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you know anything about foundries and melting stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to know when I actually use this. I'll catch you all in the next episode. In the meantime, remember to stay safe, happy crafting, and as always, cheers.